Hi everyone, in today's lesson we're going to be looking at creating 3 buttons and linking those buttons to frames. To get started we have a layer here already, so to rename this we double left click. So I'm going to call this one buttons, and this is going to hold our buttons. I'm going to create a new layer, double left click, and this one is going to hold our text for our pages, and then a new layer again, and we need some action script as well. So to get started we're going to create the buttons. I'm just going to left click on frame 1. So I'm going to come over here and use my rectangle tool. Just draw a simple rectangle on. Green is selected with a black stroke. Over here on the right hand side you can change all that detail. Now I'm going to select the T tool for text, and I'm going to go 1, just highlight my text, come over here to the properties field. I'm just going to change it to a colour that I'm going to be able to see. So I put it to a blue. Perfect. So to highlight these two I left click and drag over. Okay, and go Control and G to group them. Okay, so that the button then is, I can work with that now, and then I can take a copy of that button, maybe take another copy, so we have 3 buttons. So I double left click and double left click to edit the text, and click my selection tool and come back to scene 1, and then double left click and double left click again, and 3. Click the selection tool and click scene 1 to get back to the original scene. So my rectangles are created and they're grouped, but I need to convert them to buttons now. So I left click button 1 and I go to modify and convert to symbol, and I call this one button 1. Button here is already selected and I click OK. Over on the right hand side now the property field opens up, and again I give it the name button 1 in there, because when we come to do the action script we need to revert back to that button 1, so we need to give it a name as well. I left click button 2 and I go modify and convert to symbol again, and I call this one button 2. Click OK and give it the same name over in my instance name. And again button 3, modify, convert to symbol, button 3, click OK, and again give it the same name over here. So the buttons now are created and ready to go. Well, all I have to do now is create the text. So obviously I want this one linking to a page where I have information, 2, 3, etc. So here in keyframe 5, I'm going to insert a blank keyframe. Maybe just put text saying this is page 1, and you put whatever information there you want. Go to keyframe 10, insert a blank keyframe and insert more text. This is page 2. And 15, we'll insert blank keyframe again and say this is page 3. Okay, and click my selection tool. So that's all ready to go, but a good tip here is to put labels on each of these frames. So I'm going to go to frame 5 and put a label over here on the right hand side and call this page 1. And this is useful in case I have to move the frames around. Page 2 and page 3. Okay, and you'll see the labels coming in there as well on your timeline. Perfect. Okay, and the last thing we have to do is put the code in to say when I click this button 1 I want it to go to this frame 5 or page 1 now, which I put the new label on, and when I click button 2 I want it to go to page 2 label and then page 3 label. So I come up here to action script, okay, in frame 1, and I'm going to go to Windows and Actions, or F9 on your keyboard. So I just need to grab an easy way, maybe just to grab some code I have already. So I don't have to be typing it out again. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of code from an example I've already used. So I'm just going to copy that, come back here in my first keyframe where I have actions, Windows, Actions, or F9 on your keyboard. So you want to go stop, and we want it to go to whatever name your button is, and I've called it button 1. We give it a name, okay, and I could just give it a function name of go to and stop 1. And that has to be exactly the same name then. Go to and stop 1. And then the name or the keyframe goes in here, but I've given it label of page 1. Perfect. So that page 1 then matches up with this page 1. I take a copy of this because I've got 2 other buttons. And I change the information. So I want this to go to button 2. The function name has to be different. Go to and stop 2. Go to and stop 2. And I want it to go to page 2. And button 3, go to and stop 3, go to and stop 3, and the new label name 3. Okay, so the function always has to be different, but you can name the function anything as long as it's different for each button, and then obviously then it has to match up here as well. So I'm saying when button 1 is clicked, okay, go to and stop and go to page 1, go to page 2 and page 3. So they're my label names. So I click X, I go to Window, okay, or go to Control and Test Movie in Flash browser. The movie stops, and if I click 1 now, that is working. This is page 1. Okay, if I run it again, this is page 2. And obviously then on page 1, if you want to have a little button here and just link it back the exact same way we've done the buttons here. So we've put them on a keyframe, we've linked them by putting in the code. So all we do then is, if you had a new button, you just call it button 4. That could be your menu button, and then you say go to and stop, and you'd want it maybe coming back here to keyframe 1. Okay, so you could put a new label in there saying home page or whatever. So it works the exact same way. So that's today's lesson, and thank you very much.